Thanks for checking out my video. Today we're going to be working on some fine motor skills, some visual motor integration, and some bilateral coordination with our popsicle sticks, our glue, our paint, and a writing utensil, as well as the stickers that I have here. They're kind of an optional piece to this activity. But we will definitely be using our writing utensils as a replacement for stickers if we don't have stickers. The main objects in this activity are the popsicle sticks. So we really want to use any of these materials as long as we're using our popsicle sticks. As we use our popsicle sticks, we're really taking this small tactile cue of the boundary here, and we're going to use that to our advantage, either by tracing lines on the inside of the popsicle stick, or by painting the popsicle stick, or really even just making a pattern on the popsicle stick. And then the more we manipulate these, the more we're using the same fine motor skills that we're hoping to develop as if we were to just practice writing. So the same grip is involved, this nice dynamic tripod, or maybe just even a pincer grasp or a lateral pinch. Really, we're working on developing some manual dexterity and some good fine motor skills as we manipulate this popsicle stick. So any way you want to use these materials is fine, as long as we are ultimately using the popsicle sticks. So 3 different variations of this activity would be to place a visual cue on your popsicle stick, and then make a line drawing, and then arrange the popsicle sticks in such a way that we make a shape like a triangle or a square. That's one way to do this activity. Another way to do the activity is to use the popsicle sticks as a kind of like a manipulative for math. So what we would do in this case is we would just put whatever number we want to put on this one, we are going to have a corresponding dot. So for this one, I'll just put the number 1 on top, and then I'll have 1 dot. And then for the next one, we're going to have 2 dots. So I'm still practicing some good fine motor skills here with just making a small dot, and then I'm going to practice writing the number 2. So then we can use these for just some simple addition. So 1 plus 2 is 1, 2, 3. So we can use them that way, or we can take them, use them this way, and then connect them like we would connect the pieces and kind of like segments of a snake. So that's what I think I will do. I think I'm going to start with the counting sticks and then transition this into a snake pattern here in the end. So I'm kind of combining the 2 different ideas here. So first, for me, I think I'd like to paint all of my popsicle sticks. So as I begin to paint my popsicle sticks, I can choose between a paintbrush with a larger, like built-up handle, a thicker handle, or I can choose this kind of slim handle paintbrush. And I think this is the one I'm going to use because I need to use a little bit more precision in my painting. So I'm going to use this paintbrush. If your student doesn't quite have the fine motor skills built up just yet with their paintbrush, we can use, I'm just going to get a little bit of Play-Doh, and I'm just going to kind of wrap the Play-Doh around my paintbrush to build up the handle just a little bit. Maybe I can squeeze it on there. Now we have a nice built-up handle that we can use for our painting. So if your student doesn't have the fine motor skills to use this paintbrush, the thin paintbrush, just kind of like this right here with the nice dynamic tripod grasp, maybe they're more inclined to using kind of like a pronated grasp here, or even just like a regular kind of brush grasp, we can use a built-up handle that we can make with Play-Doh. So that's an option for us. So I'm ready to start painting, and I need to clear out the rest of my area here. So I'm going to get my glue out of the way, and my writing utensils can live off to the side for now. And my stickers that I'll be using later, I can put those over there, because the first thing I want to do is just paint all of these popsicle sticks. I've already got a couple numbers on here with a couple of these dots, so let's see if this is going to work if I paint over it or if I have to start again. It looks like it's going to work. So I'm really stabilizing my popsicle stick with my non-dominant hand, really incorporating some good bilateral coordination, using this thin paintbrush and a small kind of thin area for me to paint on, which is increasing the likelihood of me using some precision while I do this. So again, I'm holding it down, using a lot of good radial precision with my finger movement as I complete this. And I'm going to use, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 popsicle sticks for red, and then I'll switch up the color. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting the rest of these. As you are completing your painting of the popsicle sticks, it's important to keep in mind what skill your child is working on. So if your child is working on maybe some vertical line drawings or some horizontal line drawings, we want this portion of the activity to match that goal. So if we're working on the horizontal line drawings, we want our popsicle sticks to lay horizontally across the page so that we have to use our paintbrush as if we were drawing horizontal lines. If we're doing vertical lines, we want them to lay vertically like that. Additionally, we also want to be aware of the visual component of it, the visual motor skills component of it. If we are working on some vertical visual pursuits, I think I'd like to have my paint on top and my popsicle sticks on the bottom so that I have to continuously demonstrate vertical. It's actually more like a vertical saccadic eye movement, but for this purpose, it's a vertical pursuit that we are using to locate our paint and then go back down to the popsicle stick. So that's another thing to be conscious of. And the last thing that we want to make sure we're doing here is increasing the likelihood for some bilateral coordination. And we can do that by placing the popsicle sticks on the right side or the left side, depending on what handedness your student is, and then put the paint on the opposite side so that I have to reach across the midline of my body, right across the center point of my body with my dominant hand to reach the paint, and then back across my dominant hand side to paint. And as I'm doing that, I'm crossing over the midline of my body with my non-dominant hand to stabilize the popsicle stick. So 3 things to be conscious of there as we complete the painting portion of that. So I'm done painting right now. So I'm going to clean up my paint, put this off to the side, and get my red paint off to the side. And I can let these popsicle sticks dry and my student can take a break. Or if you're feeling a little bit impatient, you can just use a paper towel and kind of help the paint dry. Just like so. Just kind of wipe off any excess paint. And this wood will soak up a lot of the liquid on the paint. So we want to scrape off the excess paint. That's okay. And this one, I don't want to mix the colors. I already mixed the colors over here to make purple. I want to leave this one blue, so I want to make sure I have a nice clean spot on my paper towel. Stabilize the paper or the popsicle stick with my non-dominant hand, and then use the paper towel here with my dominant hand. And I'm just cleaning off the excess paint. I can do 2 at a time, that'll work. And then again, I'm going to find a nice clean spot for my red paint. This will work. And for this one, let's see here. This one's going to do 2 at a time for this one also. And so we're just wiping off the excess paint so that we can get back to our activity a little bit quicker. And now that we have this all dried up, we can get on to the next portion of this activity. For the next portion of this activity, I want to practice writing my numbers and also making a corresponding dot. So I've already done 1 and 2. So now I think I'll do 3 and 4 in red, and then a couple here in blue, and then some in purple, and we'll see where we're at when we're done. So I've already got 1, I've already got 2, and now I'm going to make 3. So I need to grab my writing utensil. In this case, I think I'd like to use my Sharpie pen. It's a little bit of a thicker handle, so I get to practice working on my fine motor skills here without really kind of stretching it thin with like a real thin pencil. I would be maybe struggling to demonstrate my fine motor skills because this marker is just kind of fitting my hand shape just perfectly. So I'm going to do 3. So we want to count out 3 dots, stabilize the popsicle stick with your non-dominant hand, and draw 3 dots on your popsicle stick. And we can use our paper up here if we want to practice writing the number first. We can do that. If you want to, let's see, yeah, there it is. So yeah, if you want to practice writing the number first on a piece of paper, you can have some paper underneath what you're doing. That'll work. And then I'm going to reposition my hand so that I can really stabilize this popsicle stick here. I'm going to make the number 3. And then I'm going to make 4 dots. I'm going to count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to practice writing the number 4. Or maybe even have that as a model for your student so you can practice, so that they can practice copying it. If that's what your child's goal is, that's a good way to do it. So then I'm going to just write the number 4 on my popsicle stick, and so on. And I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these. So I finished 1 through 9, and I have just a couple extra. So I think in this situation, I think I'd like to just make a 0 and maybe a number 10. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that now. So 0 won't have any dots, and I'll just write 0. And then 10 will have 10 dots, and I will write the number 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I will write the number 10. So now we have our popsicle sticks numbered 0 through 10, along with corresponding dots to help us count if we would like to use these for some simple math problems. Now would be a good time to do that. My paper got a little bit messy here with the paint, so I'm just going to quickly sub out that paper for a clean sheet so I can demonstrate how we could use these if we were so inclined to introduce some simple math concepts. So we can put an addition sign here if we're working on addition, and then we could say that 1 plus the 2 is the 3. We put an equal sign here, and then we would be able to work on some very simple math just by using these popsicle sticks, a blank sheet of paper, and these and a writing utensil. And so we're just going to count. So we're going to say 1 plus the 2, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to check our answer is 3. If you are looking to make the challenge a little bit more difficult for your student and you happen to have some stickers laying around, you can have them peel off some stickers and match them to the corresponding dot on the popsicle stick. So we're really having to use a lot more bilateral coordination, not only to peel off the sticker, but then to place the sticker onto our desired location there. And also, these stickers are pretty small, so I'm really having to use some good fine motor skills to peel them off, and then to even shift them onto my popsicle stick. I really have to demonstrate some solid fine motor skills. So, if you're looking to make the challenge more difficult, I would definitely recommend adding some stickers and really having your student not only work on the fine motor skills, the bilateral coordination, but also really just the visual focus and attention that's needed to accurately locate our dot and then to place the sticker on the dot. So these are all really great skills to use if you are so inclined to make this more difficult for your student. So I'm done placing my stickers on my popsicle sticks. I am done using them as a tactile cue or a visual cue for my math. I'm done using them as a manipulative, etc. And what I think I'd like to do now is to match by color and then connect them in a zigzag pattern to make a snake. And I can use a glue stick if I'm working on developing some fine motor skills, maybe associated with some writing. This is a nice dynamic tripod grasp that I'm demonstrating here. Or if you're working on grip and pinch strength, really you want to be working with the squeeze bottle to develop some good grip strength there. So you get to choose what goal you're working on with your student. Grip and pinch strength, use the squeeze bottle. Fine motor skills associated for writing, use the glue stick. I'm going to be using this glue stick today, and I'm going to go ahead and match by color and then connect in the sequence here from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and then I'll be done with this color. So I'm pretty much done with this activity. I have painted my popsicle sticks, done some great fine motor work with my paint and my paintbrush. I've also used my writing utensil to make the dots all along these popsicle sticks, really getting some good visual focus, some good visual attention skills. We've worked on our bilateral coordination, our vertical, horizontal pursuits, and we can be either done with this activity now, or what I think might be fun for people who are maybe a little bit more advanced with their math skills and have a set of numbers that they can count that is higher than the number 10. We can use these to kind of practice counting all the way up to some higher numbers here. So if we were to use the red snake, we would just count the number of dots all along the snake. So if we're going to count the number of dots all along the snake, we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dots are on that snake. And we can do the same thing with the blue snake. We can do the same thing with the purple snake for that matter. So now that you have these, you can draw a head on a snake. You can make a scene. If you're really artistic, you can make a scene where the snake is slithering through the grass, or you can just use these for counting. So really, that's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to introduce some kind of manipulatives to help us along the way as we establish some knowledge of numbers and how to count, in a sequence. So we were able to work on all of our fine motor skills and all of our great skills that we normally work on at OT, the visual motor, the bilateral coordination, all of those great skills, all while just working on some pretty basic number concepts here. Thanks for checking out my video. I hope you found it useful. Please feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions on how to implement these strategies with your student.